We are back for more preseason action. Week 2, we have a showdown slate on Thursday. Cleveland Browns versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm excited for this one. Welcome, guys. My name is DK. In this video, like I said, we'll be breaking down the showdown slate on Draftkings. $25,000 to first up top. If you guys are a first-time viewer, I cover content for Draftkings for player prop sites like PrizePicks and Underdog. PrizePicks, they are the sponsor of the video. You can use the code DKDFS for 100% match up to $100. We hit a 25x, which we'll recap here in a little bit. Yesterday, what day is it, man? Today is today's Monday, so it's right Sunday. Yeah, like all the days blend together. Like I joked about this on Twitter the other day. Like I never know what day it is. Yeah, yesterday we hit a 25x. And we'll cover some other stuff too, some tilth, man. It's incredible. It is incredible how bad I run, literally incredible. But if you guys are not on PrizePicks, again, use the code DKDFS for 100% match up to $100. Link down below. And if you're looking for more content for DFS, for PrizePicks, for Underdog, you can check my Patreon link down below. I can bring up my Picket right now. It is public. You can go check it out. Publicly tracked player props. Currently, right now, up about $2,000 from the weekend, and it's been a nice run. And we've missed out on about $3,000 because of horrific beats. And you would have thought, after all the bad beats that I had on Saturday, there's no way I could add another bad beat, right? Wrong. And again, we'll cover that here in a second, but that'll be linked down below. Also, in DFS stuff, I tweet out here, I put it out, snap count data. So this is I tweeted this out for free, but I'm posting this for every single team over on Patreon. All the week 1 data that you could ask for every single team is on my Patreon. I tweeted this out for free again for the showdown slate. So make sure you guys are following me on Twitter. But if you're looking for this, snap counts, if you're looking for depth charts, if you're looking for player pool, if you're looking for roster construction videos for the main and showdown site to really talk about building plus EV lineups, you're looking for live streams before lock, if you're looking for Discord access, right? All that stuff included in my Patreon link down below. And I'm offering it, again, at a really cheap price. The combo price is $50. If you want non-Discord, it's only $30. All that for $30 you could get. So that'll be linked down below. And so let's get in this video. So first, we got to recap yesterday. I said after all. So let's first recap this. If you missed my video from Saturday, let's go through all these bad beats, right? So missed out on about $2,000 on Saturday from these absolutely horrific beats. Number one, the Ravens. No indication that Huntley was going to sit. They started Johnson, played him the whole first half, hooked me. Horrific, absolutely horrific. That's $500 there. Sam Ellinger had a touchdown called back. Same thing. 0.1 lose the bet by. He had a touchdown called back. 0.1. That's another $500, right? Another slip. Dearness Johnson. The Jags had 6 running backs. All 6 played, and Johnson just broke off a long run in one of his few carries. One miss there, and then another slip that included Josh Johnson. So that's about $2,000 that I lost out on absolutely horrific beats. So you would think, again, there's no way, right? There's no way anything else could have happened. Look at these slips. Look at these. Tay Martin. Let's talk about this. Raiders, 49ers. The Raiders are up by 30. 49ers have the ball in the fourth quarter. Tate Martin has a long, really nice catch around the sideline, like 30-yard catch, taps his toes. And I'm like, yes, man, this just won me $800, right? I have this, and I have this slip, right? And you want to know what happens? For absolutely no reason. Raiders up by 30. Throw the challenge flag. And this is what I talked about in my other video, right? How, like, what else, what other horrific variants am I going to get, right? It's incredible how bad I run. Absolutely. And I knew it too. I said, I'm like, what's going to happen in the 2 games Sunday? Well, number one, I had, get injured. Another injury. Another one. Henry Miller injured. Had him on Draftkings and had him on Underdog. Now, in the early game, I went 9-1 in my props. Swept the board in prize picks, went 4-1. The only miss was Miller injury. Like I said, no one runs worse, man. And I get all this bad luck, and I continue to profit, right? Should be up at least $3,000 more. Again, called back. And it's like, it wasn't questionable. It was like the toe went down. It could have very easily just been, not enough evidence to overturn. Overturns it. And he gets one more catch, but just hooks me. 2.5 fantasy points. I needed it over 3.05. That's $800. $800 that the Raiders challenge when they're up by 30 in the fourth quarter. Right? And you want to tell me that someone runs worse than me? You want to tell me that? You want to tell me that with a straight face? Name them, right? I've been saying that on Twitter last few days. Name someone and provide me the proof. Because I provide you the proof every day. I just went over Saturday slips on those horrific hooks. $2,000 I lost out on. Now a Tay Martin catch called back, $800. Okay, I didn't want $800. It's incredible, man. It is every single day. Every single day. But with all that being said, again, it's been an insane run. Even with these awful beats, the few misses that I have are just horrific beats. Still up about $2,000 on just Saturday and Sunday alone. But yeah, man, it's just, I literally could have won another $3,000 here. Incredible stuff. So did want to talk about that. Again, the Miller injury, why not, right? 2 games. I have the one injury that happens in the 2-game slate. Again, you want to tell me that someone runs worse than me. Name them. Name them and provide the proof. I had 20 injuries in the Summer League, still profited, and I've just shown you all the proof so far in the preseason. On Friday, I had 2 injuries, right? 2 backs. I had Goodson injured, and I had, the Lions back, Ibrahim injured. Thursday, the slate, I had an injury. It's just like, it's every day. I cannot have a slate where I don't have awful luck. I can't. And if I do, I'll win all the money. But there's just no one that runs worse. So again, there's the proof. All right, so I had to get that little rant out of the way there. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to talk about as far as the recaps go? I think that's it. So again, snap count data. I posted that on Twitter for free for this game, but I'll have that up. I already have it up for the Friday games. I'll have it up for every single game this weekend. All the snap counts, all the routes, targets, catches, carries, anything you can add, any data that's on my Patreon. All right, let's talk about it. Cleveland and Philly. So what do we know for both these teams? Well, it doesn't look like the starters are going to play for the Browns. Coach Fancy said starters won't play Thursday. They're playing the joint practices. They're getting a lot of work in those joint practices. And then the Eagles, same thing. You would assume that same for Eagles starters. So not expecting the starters for each team. All right, so let's start with Cleveland. So first, as always, the defenses are 2 of the better plays on the Showdown slate for sure. They're going to be probably the 2 most popular plays in the slate, but for good reason. You have starters not expected to play for either team, so the defenses are very, very safe. And then for Cleveland, they do only have 1 kicker on the roster, so Cade York, very safe option as well. No issue with him. All right, again, so we're not expecting to see Deshaun Watson. Now, I don't know if we see Dobbs or not, right? In the Hall of Fame game, we did not see Dobbs in week 1 of the preseason. We saw Dobbs play 31% of the snap. So we'll see. If Dobbs plays and it's a 3 quarterback rotation here with Dobbs, Mon, and DTR, they're all like fine, but none of them would be priorities. If Dobbs doesn't play like he did in the Hall of Fame game, it's only Mon and DTR, then obviously both look good, and I would give the preference to DTR, who I just think has the much higher floor plus ceiling because of his rushing upside. You look at last week, again, it was basically a 4-way split. Dobbs 31%, Mon 27% of snaps, Dorian Thompson-Robinson 26%. Running backs, I think, are where we get some good plays here for Cleveland. So let's talk it through. Nick Chubb, not going to play. Ford, still banged up. I'd be shocked if he plays. So that leaves, they technically have 4 running backs. Because they did just sign Jordan Wilkins yesterday. But I'd be pretty surprised if he plays much, if at all, because you have someone in the back end of the depth chart that really hasn't played much the first 2 games, and that's Hassan Hall. Only played 13% of the snaps last week. So that leaves just 2 backs getting the majority of the work. I think 2 look really good here. Demetric Felton, he played 51% of the snaps last week. Surprisingly, did not have a target. I think it's just a bit of an outlier. And then Kelly had 32% of the snaps. 8 carries for Felton, 6 carries for Kelly. I think they're 2 of the safest running back plays on the board. I'm really high on both these Cleveland running backs. That would be Kelly, and that would be Felton. If you wanted to look to Hall as like a low-owned contrarian play, sure. The snaps have not been good the last couple of games, I should say. But maybe they took up a little bit this game. So, tight ends for Cleveland. And you really, tight ends on a show on slate, they're all going to be low-owned. But, I mean, the tight ends actually did have success last week. So, Thomas Greeny had 4 catches. Forrestall had 4 catches. Or Greeny had 3 catches. Forrestall had 4 catches. And Zaire Mitchell-Payton had 3 catches. 32% of the snaps for Mitchell-Payton, 26% for Forrestall, 38% for Greeny. Njoku did play a little bit, but I don't think he'll play in this game. If I had to play a tight end here for Cleveland, I think it would be Greeny, who's been very involved over the first couple of games, and the snaps have been solid, and he played the most out of anyone at 38% of the snaps last week for Cleveland. And then wide receivers also, let's kind of talk things through and go over their depth chart. We can talk through some snap counts as well. So last week they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide receivers. The main guys did not play. You saw only 10% of the snaps for Elijah Moore, 14% for DPJ. So don't expect those guys to even play in this game. Harley played 27% snaps. Shorts played 22%. Wayne played 22%. The 3 guys that got a lot of run, and the 3 guys I had the most interest in, would be David Bell, Austin Watkins, and Cedric Tillman. David Bell played 53% of the snaps at 3 catches and 4 targets. Austin Watkins, 58% of the snaps, 6 catches on 8 targets. And Cedric Tillman, 70% of the snaps, ran 37 routes, only 2 catches, but did have 4 targets. So those would be the wide receivers I would look to: Bell, Watkins, and Tillman. I do think the snaps could bump back up for a guy like Anthony Schwartz, who the Browns did say they want to give him a lot of run in the preseason, but he has not been playing well. So that's the wide receiver room there for Cleveland. All right, let's move on to Philadelphia. So Philadelphia, same thing. Eagles D, good option. They'll probably be a little bit more popular. I think the Eagles are favorites in this game. So, and the same thing with Jake Elliott, right? Both teams only have 1 kicker, so Elliott's a very, very safe play. All right, Eagles and their quarterbacks. So we're not expecting to see Jalen Hurts. Last week, we saw Mariota play 29% of snaps, Ian Book played 23%, and Tanner McKee played 48% of the snaps. The Eagles did say like they do want to see what they have in Tanner McKee, and they said like they should play him a lot here in the preseason. So of these 3 quarterbacks, it's going to be McKee that I like the most here. He was solid for them last week, so he's the guy that I like the best. He played the most. And, so I like McKee. I think Book and Mariota are playable, but neither are going to be guys that I'm going to prioritize. All right, running backs here for Philly. So they have 6 running backs on the roster. Last week, we did not see Kenny Gainwell. We did not see Boston Scott. You saw like 1 drive from DeAndre Swift, and then it was Penny, it was Sermon, and it was Brooks. Now, looking through the snap count data, Sermon and Penny surprisingly played a lot. 36% of the snaps for Rashad Penny, 39% for Trey Sermon, only 17% for Kennedy Brooks, and then 8% for DeAndre Swift. I would assume similar. Like I don't think we see Gainwell. He's expected to be their starter for week 1, and then Boston Scott's a vet. So I think it's a pretty similar situation of we maybe get a drive of Swift, and then we probably get a lot of Penny, Sermon, and Brooks. I think you might see a little bit more of Kennedy Brooks this game than we did last game. So that was a little bit surprising how little he played. Talking through the tight ends here for Philadelphia. So they played 5 tight ends last week. No one really had a ton of success, again, opposite of Cleveland tight ends. Dan Arnold played 32% of snaps. He ran 14 routes, had 1 catch. Grant Calcaterra, 28% of the snaps, 1 catch and 2 targets. Jack Stahl, 12% of the snaps, 1 catch and 2 targets. Tyree Jackson did run 16 routes, but he did not have a catch. So all just tournament plays here. I don't think we see Dallas Goedert. I'd be shocked if he plays. For the Eagles, wide receiver room was really thin last week. Really, really thin. So this would be a situation to monitor. They only played 5 wide receivers. So let's talk through the depth chart, right? Starters not expected to play. Quez Watkins still a bit banged up. So I don't think we see Brown. I don't think we see Smith. I don't think we see Watkins. And I don't think we see Zacchaeus too. Zacchaeus was a DNP, but I think they're kind of just lumping him in with the starters. So I don't think we see Zacchaeus. Britton Covey also was injured. We didn't even know that until after the game. He didn't play. Devin Allen was banged up. He did return to practice, so I think he could play this week. He didn't play last week. And then Deion Kane has been banged up with an ankle injury, and then Rambo on the IR. So this is a really short-handed wide receiver group. Could be a similar spot. Maybe Allen returns in this game. Again, I think he has an opportunity to play. But the 5 wide receivers that played were Hasselwood, Ward, King, Nagata, and Tyree Cleveland. Ward dealt with some cramping. He played about half the game, had 5 catches and 5 targets. Hasselwood, 41% snaps, 2 catches and 3 targets. King played the least, 33% snaps, 1 catch and 1 target. The two that stood out snap count-wise for me, obviously, Joseph Nagata, the rookie, 80% of the snaps, only 1 catch, though, did run 40 routes. If you give him that amount of work again, then yes, I'm going to have interest in their rookie. And then Tyree Cleveland was just peppered, and I mean peppered with targets. 85% of the snaps, 10 targets, 5 catches for Tyree Cleveland. I think it'll be pretty popular. It'll be interesting to ownership here, right? If everyone chases the Cleveland game from last game, I might just go to Nagata if he's going to be lower owned. Now, we'll see. That's just speculation, but I assume since Cleveland had such a big game last week, he'll probably pick up more ownership. They played basically the same amount of snaps. If Cleveland's going to be a lot more popular, I would rather go to Nagata. But yeah, we'll keep it on the wide receiver room. I think they could be pretty thin again. Maybe Devin Allen returns and plays this week. So maybe they have 6 wide receivers available. But yeah, that's the player-by-player breakdown. Again, as far as building out plus CV lineups, something I talk about a lot in my videos. You want to focus on being unique without being stupid. And in the preseason, you really don't have to get too far off the board. Like if you play like one low-owned guy, that's really all you need because we know what a majority of the field is going to do, right? A majority of the field is going to have both defenses. A majority of the field probably plays at least one of the kickers. A majority of the field, I think, will at least have one of those Cleveland backs. So it's pretty relatively straightforward to know what the field's going to do. I don't think you have to get too far off the board in tournaments. Maybe you just play a lower owned option. Maybe you play a wide receiver and the captain, a high risk, high reward. The safest place in the captains are obviously going to be the defenses, the quarterbacks, and then maybe those Cleveland running backs. But if you want that high risk, high reward, you can look to one of those wide receivers in the captain to hope they catch a touchdown. But yeah, that's something again I'll talk about more on Patreon. But yeah, so that'll do it for the video, guys. If you do enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And we'll be back Friday for a 2-game slate on Friday. And then we have like 28 games on Saturday. I told people on the stream on Patreon on Sunday, I'm probably not going to sleep on Saturday. I'll probably be up for 24 hours straight because they literally have an insane amount of games. And I think there's 1 game Sunday and 1 game Monday. So just weird scheduling there from the NFL. But as always, guys, enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you all in the next video.